What if I told you there's a place in Alabama where your money goes 3x further, your commute is 10 minutes max, and everyone actually knows their neighbors? I'm about to take you through the top 10 best places to live in Forestdale, Alabama, and trust me, number 1 will completely shock you. But first, if you're new here and you love discovering hidden gems and life-changing places to live, smash that subscribe button because we drop videos like this every single week. Hey everyone! I'm back with another deep dive, and today we're exploring Forestdale, Alabama, a place that's been flying completely under the radar but shouldn't be. Located just 15 minutes from Birmingham, Forestdale offers the perfect blend of small-town charm and big city accessibility. But here's what's crazy, I almost didn't make this video. I thought, who's going to care about a small Alabama town? Then I started digging deeper, and what I found absolutely blew my mind. We're talking about neighborhoods where the average home price will make you think there's a typo, communities so tight-knit they feel like family, and opportunities that big cities can only dream of. Now, I know what you're thinking, but is it actually a good place to live, or just cheap? Well, buckle up because I spent weeks researching crime stats, school ratings, economic growth, and even drove through every single neighborhood myself. And let me tell you, what I discovered will change how you think about the American dream. Before we jump in, do me a huge favor: if you find even one place on this list interesting, drop a like on this video. It helps more people discover these hidden gems, and honestly, it keeps me motivated to create content like this. Plus, I'm curious, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. Are you someone thinking about relocating? Let's build a community of smart movers. Number 10, Forestdale Gardens area. Alright, let's start with number 10, the Forestdale Gardens area. Now, don't let the name fool you, this isn't your typical suburban development. What makes this place special is the sense of community that you just don't find anymore. I met Sarah, a young professional who moved here from Atlanta 2 years ago. She told me something that stuck with me. In Atlanta, I lived in a luxury apartment for 3 years and never knew my neighbor's name. Here, within a week, I had dinner invitations from 3 different families. The homes here are primarily 1950s and 1960s builds, which means character, charm, and surprisingly solid construction. We're talking about 3-bedroom houses starting around $85,000, and no, that's not a typo. But here's the kicker: these aren't fixer-uppers. Many have been lovingly maintained by families for decades. The area is anchored by Forestdale Elementary School, which has consistently improving ratings and a principal who actually knows every student's name. And get this, the school regularly hosts community events that bring together not just parents, but grandparents, local business owners, and even retirees who just want to support the kids. Number 9, Forestdale Park area. Number 9 might surprise you, it's the area around Forestdale Park. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just near a park, big deal. But hear me out, because this is where things get interesting. This park isn't your typical city park with some rusty swings. We're talking about 15 acres of beautifully maintained green space with walking trails, a community garden, and here's the part that blew my mind: an active volunteer program that's turned this into the town's unofficial headquarters. The homes surrounding the park are a mix of styles, from charming cottages to mid-century modern gems. But what really sets this area apart is the lifestyle. I watched a Tuesday evening softball game where it seemed like half the town showed up just to hang out. Kids running around, adults grilling, teenagers actually talking to their parents. It felt like something out of a movie. Maria, a mother of 2, told me, "My kids have more freedom here than I ever had growing up in the suburbs. They can walk to the park, they know every neighbor, and there's always something happening on the weekends." Property values here are slightly higher than other parts of Forestdale. We're talking $95,000 to $120,000 for a nice 3-bedroom, but the quality of life factor is off the charts. Now, before we get to number 8, I need to tell you about something I discovered that completely changed my perspective on small-town living. It has to do with number 3 on our list, and it's so unexpected that it made me question everything I thought I knew about opportunity in America. But first, let's continue with our countdown. Number 8, Downtown District. Number 8 is the historic Downtown District, and this is where Forestdale's personality really shines. Main Street feels like it's been frozen in time, but in the best possible way. We've got locally owned restaurants, a coffee shop that serves as the unofficial town hall, and shops that have been family-owned for generations. But here's what makes living near downtown special: everything is walkable. I timed it. You can walk from one end of the business district to the other in 12 minutes. Compare that to sitting in traffic for an hour just to grab groceries in most cities. The residential streets branching off from Main Street are lined with historic homes, many dating back to the early 1900s. These aren't just old houses, they're architectural gems with original hardwood floors, built-in bookcases, and the kind of craftsmanship you can't find anymore. I met Tom, a retiree who moved here from Chicago. He bought a stunning 1920s Craftsman for $78,000, a house that would easily cost $400,000 in his old neighborhood. The quality of life here is incredible, he told me. I walk to the coffee shop every morning, know the business owners by name, and haven't locked my car doors once since moving here. The downtown area is also seeing exciting revitalization. New businesses are opening, young entrepreneurs are moving in, and there's a genuine sense of optimism about the future. Quick question for you guys: are you someone who values community and knowing your neighbors, or do you prefer the anonymity of big city living? Let me know in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious about what drives people's housing decisions. And if you're enjoying this deep dive, make sure you're subscribed, because next week I'm covering hidden gems in North Carolina that will blow your mind. Number 7. Forestdale Heights area. Number 7 takes us to the Forestdale Heights area, and this is where things get really interesting from an investment perspective. This neighborhood sits on slightly elevated terrain, hence the name, and offers some genuinely beautiful views of the surrounding countryside. What makes Heights special isn't just the scenery, though. This area has seen the most new construction in recent years, which means you can find modern amenities while still maintaining that small town feel. We're talking about energy-efficient homes, modern kitchens, and open floor plans starting around $110,000. But here's the investment angle that got my attention: this area is experiencing 8% annual property value growth. That might not sound like much compared to hot markets like Austin or Denver, but here's the thing: when your initial investment is $110,000 instead of $400,000, that 8% compounds really quickly. I spoke with Jennifer, a real estate agent who's lived in Forestdale her entire life. She told me, 5 years ago, people thought I was crazy for focusing on Heights. Now I have clients from Birmingham, Atlanta, even Nashville looking at properties here. The secret's getting out. The neighborhood also has the newest school in the district, Forestdale Heights Elementary, which opened just 3 years ago with state-of-the-art facilities and technology. For families with kids, this is a huge draw. Number 6. Riverside District. Number 6 might be the best kept secret in all of Forestdale, the Riverside District. Now, technically it's along 5 Mile Creek, but locals call it Riverside, and once you see it, you'll understand why. This area offers something you rarely find in affordable housing markets: waterfront living. Not ocean front, not lake front, but peaceful creek front with walking trails, wildlife, and the kind of tranquility that people pay premium prices for in other markets. The homes here range from cozy creekside cottages perfect for retirees to larger family homes with private dock access. Prices range from $75,000 for a 2-bedroom cottage to $140,000 for a 4-bedroom family home with creek access. But here's what really makes Riverside special: the sense of escape. I spent an afternoon walking the creek trail and completely forgot I was just 20 minutes from Birmingham. You've got herons, deer, and a level of peace that city dwellers spend fortunes trying to recreate on weekend getaways. Mark and Linda, a couple who moved here from suburban Atlanta, summed it up perfectly. We downsized our house but upgraded our lifestyle completely. We have morning coffee on the creek, evening walks without traffic, and our stress levels drop dramatically. Alright, we're halfway through our list, and I promised you that number 3 would completely shock you. Well, we're getting close, and I need to prepare you for what's coming. What I discovered about opportunity in small-town America through this one location is going to challenge everything you think you know about building wealth and success. But first, let's continue our countdown with some places that are already incredible. Number 5. College Park Area. Number 5 is the College Park area, and no, there isn't actually a college here. The name comes from the tree-lined streets that reminded early residents of a college campus. But what this area lacks in higher education, it makes up for in pure charm and practicality. This neighborhood represents the sweet spot of Forestdale living. Homes are well maintained, streets are safe, and you're within walking distance of both downtown and the park. It's the area I consistently heard recommended for first-time homebuyers and young families. The housing stock is diverse. You'll find everything from starter homes around $70,000 to larger family houses around $115,000. What impressed me most was the consistent upkeep. This isn't an area where you have to worry about the neighbor who never mows their lawn, bringing down property values. I spent time with the Jackson family, who moved here from Tennessee last year. We looked at suburbs around Nashville for months. Mrs. Jackson told me, everything was either too expensive or too far from work. Here, my husband's commute to Birmingham is actually shorter than what we had in Nashville, and our mortgage payment is $600 less per month. The area also benefits from excellent city services. Streets are well maintained, there's regular police patrol, and the city's investment in infrastructure is evident. It feels like a place that's managed by people who actually live there and care about the community. Number 4. Oak Hill. Number 4 brings us to Oak Hill, and this is where Forestdale shows off its upscale side without the upscale prices. Situated on rolling hills with mature oak trees, hence the name, this area feels more expensive than it actually is. The homes here are larger, typically 4 or 5 bedrooms, with more elaborate landscaping and architectural details. We're talking about houses that would fit perfectly in any affluent suburb, but priced between $125,000 and $165,000. In most markets, these same homes would easily cost $300,000 or more. What makes Oak Hill special isn't just the houses, it's the community leadership. This area has the most active neighborhood association in Forestdale, organizing everything from seasonal festivals to scholarship programs for local high school students. I attended their monthly community meeting and was blown away by the level of engagement. These aren't people complaining about property taxes or arguing about fence heights. They're planning community gardens, organizing safety programs, and genuinely working together to make their neighborhood better. Dr. Patterson, a physician who commutes to Birmingham, explained the appeal. I wanted a place where my kids could have a small-town childhood but still have access to big city opportunities. Oak Hill gives us the best of both worlds: safety, community, and affordability, with Birmingham just 15 minutes away. Before we get to the top 3, I want to ask you something. How many of you watching this are actually considering a move like this? Are you tired of high cost of living, long commutes, and not knowing your neighbors? Drop a comment and let me know your situation, because I read every single one, and your stories actually help me decide what to cover next. Number 3. Entrepreneur District. Alright, here we are at number 3, and this is where I need to share something that completely changed my perspective on opportunity in America. Number 3 is the Emerging Entrepreneur District, and yes, that's what locals are actually calling it. Here's what's happening that nobody's talking about. Forestdale is becoming a hub for remote workers and small business owners who are leaving expensive cities but don't want to sacrifice connectivity or opportunity. The combination of low cost of living, high-speed internet infrastructure, and proximity to Birmingham is creating something really special. I met Lisa, a graphic designer who moved her agency here from Austin last year. Her overhead dropped by 70%, but her client base actually expanded because she could offer the same quality work at more competitive rates. She bought a beautiful home with a dedicated office space for $95,000 less than she was paying annually in Austin rent. The area around the small business district is seeing an influx of entrepreneurs, freelancers, and remote workers. Coffee shops have become co-working spaces, and there's a genuine sense of innovation and possibility in the air. But here's the shocking part: the average household income for new residents in this area is actually higher than many expensive cities, because people aren't spending 50% of their income on housing. They have money to invest, start businesses, and build wealth in ways that were impossible in high-cost markets. This challenges everything we're told about needing to be in expensive cities to succeed. These entrepreneurs are proving that in the digital age, location independence can lead to financial independence. Number 2, Family First District. Number 2 is the Family First District, and the name tells you everything you need to know. This area has been specifically developed and maintained with families in mind, and the results speak for themselves. The neighborhood features newer homes built in the last 15 years, all designed with families in mind: open floor plans, large yards, and proximity to schools. But what really sets this area apart is the infrastructure built around family life. We've got the newest playground in the county, walking trails designed for strollers and bikes, and a community center that offers after-school programs and summer camps. The local elementary school has some of the highest test scores in the region, and the parent involvement is incredible. I shadowed the Morrison family for a day, and their lifestyle was remarkable. Kids walked safely to school, came home to play in yards with actual space, and the family spent evenings at community events rather than stuck in traffic or isolated in apartments. Housing prices range from $100,000 for a 3-bedroom starter home to $180,000 for a 5-bedroom house with all the bells and whistles. The value proposition is incredible when you consider what families pay for similar quality of life in suburban markets across the country. Mrs. Morrison summed it up perfectly: "We moved here from suburban Charlotte. Our housing costs dropped by $800 per month, our kids' school is better, and we actually have time for family dinner because there's no commute. It's like we found the life we were trying to buy in Charlotte, but at half the price." Alright, we're down to number 1, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this location completely changed how I think about the American dream. It's so unexpected, so different from everything else we've covered, that it's going to challenge every assumption you have about success, wealth building, and what it means to live well in America. Are you ready? Number 1. Forestdale's Industrial Park. Number 1, and this is going to shock you, is actually the area around Forestdale's Industrial Park. Now, before you click away thinking I've lost my mind, hear me out, because this is where everything comes together in the most unexpected way. The residential areas adjacent to the industrial park offer something that's becoming incredibly rare in America: the opportunity to live within walking distance of well-paying jobs. We're not talking about minimum wage work. The businesses in Forestdale's Industrial Park include manufacturing, logistics, and technology companies offering solid middle-class wages. But here's what makes this truly special: the homes in this area start at just $68,000 for a decent 2-bedroom, going up to $120,000 for a 4-bedroom family home. Imagine having a 5-minute commute to a job that pays $50,000, $70,000 per year, with housing costs that let you actually save money and build wealth. I met James, a warehouse supervisor who moved here from suburban Detroit. In Detroit, I was spending $1,800 per month on rent for a tiny apartment and had a 45-minute commute each way. Here, my mortgage is $580 per month, and I walk to work in 6 minutes. I've saved more money in the last 2 years than I did in the previous 10. But the real story is the economic multiplier effect. When people aren't spending 40–50% of their income on housing and transportation, they have money to spend in the community. Local businesses thrive, property values gradually appreciate, and you get a positive economic cycle that benefits everyone. The area also benefits from excellent city planning. The industrial park is clean, well-maintained, and designed to coexist with residential areas. There's no pollution, noise issues, or industrial blight, just steady employment within walking distance of affordable homes. This represents something that's been lost in most of America: the ability for working-class and middle-class families to build wealth through homeownership while having stable employment nearby. It's the foundation of what built the American middle class in the mid-20th century, and it still exists in places like Forestdale. So there you have it, the top 10 best places to live in Forestdale, Alabama. But this video isn't really about real estate, is it? It's about a different way of thinking about success and the good life in America. Every single person I met in Forestdale had one thing in common: they had made a conscious decision to prioritize quality of life over keeping up with expensive city lifestyles. And the results speak for themselves: lower stress, stronger communities, financial stability, and time for the things that actually matter. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what about culture, dining, entertainment? Here's the thing: Birmingham is 15 minutes away with all the cultural amenities of a major city. You get the best of both worlds: small town living with big city access. The bigger question is this: what are you actually trying to accomplish with your housing choices? If it's building wealth, having financial security, knowing your neighbors, and having time for family and hobbies, then places like Forestdale offer something that expensive cities simply can't match. If you found this video helpful, here's what I need you to do. First, smash that like button. It seriously helps more people discover content like this. Second, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because next week I'm diving deep into hidden gems in North Carolina that offer similar opportunities. Third, and this is important, share this video with someone who might be considering a move or is frustrated with the high cost of living. The information I'm sharing could genuinely change someone's life, and word of mouth is how small communities like Forestdale benefit from responsible growth. Finally, drop a comment and let me know, are you someone who would consider a move like this? What's holding you back? What questions do you have? I read every comment, and your questions help me create better content. The American dream isn't dead, it's just moved to places that big city media doesn't cover. Towns like Forestdale are proving that you can still have upward mobility, homeownership, and community in America. You just might need to look in unexpected places to find it. Until next week, keep exploring, keep questioning assumptions, and remember, sometimes the best opportunities are hiding in the places everyone else is overlooking. I'll see you in the next one.